Hello, everyone, and welcome to another X-Men 97 Season 2 live stream, aka the Danger Room podcast. I don't know. That's just
We're
something that,
back, baby.
yeah. Um, I'm Ronan Jane, your host. I'm here with Joypad Jake. Jake, how you doing?
Doing pretty good, pretty good. Excited to talk about this today.
Oh, I know I saw what you did there. And Daren, what's
Hello,
up?
how's it going?
I am good. I have been biting my tongue for this episode with you guys, and especially Jake, because I'm like, oh, I can't, I can't even, I didn't even want to talk about Logan at all until we got to this week and be like, okay, now I can talk to Jake and be like, they finally gave the dude like 30 minutes to do his thing. But yes, folks, as always, every week we will be talking about the newest episode of season 2 of X-Men 97 in spoilers. So you have not seen the episode, please, for the love of God, go watch it and come back and hang out with us and give us your thoughts and opinions in a constructive and respectable way and see how we feel about this episode in general. But boys, this week's episode is Weapon X, Lies, and DVDs. A little homage to the sex, lies, and videotapes from film, but it's also a callback to the original series where it was Weapon X, Lies, and videotapes as well. Something like that.
Videotapes, yeah.
Yeah.
That was one of the last episodes they ever did.
Right, where Silver Fox. And, yeah.
I got so many flashbacks to that episode during this.
Yeah. I'm gonna hold off Jakey because I know he's gonna flip out and go on it, and I don't blame him for doing it because I know he's just as big of a Wolverine fan as I am. But Daren, we are past the halfway point, or crossing the halfway point of this season, which is still kind of sad to like reconcile with. Yeah. How do you feel about this episode and where we're at with this season as a whole?
You know what? I think this episode has I'm big now. This episode grew on me. I came out of the episode, I was like, that was okay. That was all right. I think, I think it's interesting because I'm not a big Logan guy. I like Wolverine. I think he's cool. He's never been my favorite X-Men. And like Weapon X is never like, I'm like, oh, I can't wait. I'm like, I like it, but I'm not like obsessed with it. But I think the more I sat on this episode, I think the thing that I got the most out of it, and I'm excited to hear your guys' thoughts, are Morph. I have been so this character that like before this show coming back, I didn't give a fuck about Morph. He he showed up twice in that first show. I hadn't seen him in really anything else. I was like,
he's there for quite a while.
Yeah, he starts the show doing his thing and he dies. He comes back a couple. He has a couple episodes, but I was like, yeah, whatever. And I think that dynamic and what they're doing with him and the dynamic between Logan and that character, I think is very, very fascinating. This is definitely an episode though that will like live or die on how much you love Wolverine, and I think they needed a good Wolverine. Like this show had definitely sidelined the character which I think was for the best.
Yes, I agree.
To lift up other characters, but I think this was okay, let's give him one. Let's give him. People waited 15 episodes or so at this point to get one, and I think this is a pretty worthy like Logan episode for sure.
Oh yeah, 100%. Okay, Jake, let it rip.
All right,
let it snick, if you will. Talk to me how you feel.
So, quite the big Wolverine fan myself, as you can see. And I going into this episode pretty quickly, I started getting flashbacks to a lot of the Wolverine-centric episodes from the original series, and I think the people behind the show kind of knew a certain chunk of the audience would feel that way, because from the intro of this episode alone, you see that there are clips from a lot of Wolverine-centric episodes from that original show that you hadn't yet seen in this upscaled quality. So kind of give you a little bit of hints as to where the episode was going to go and even reference things from there, which, again, I think are just well-placed bits of world building for the old fans, but don't take anything away from the newer fans. I actually liked what this episode did with Morph too. I don't necessarily agree with the complaint that's been going around this show saying that he's just a cameo machine, nostalgia bait or whatever. Like, it's his literal power transforming into these people. He's pretty useless in a fight if he doesn't do that. And I think this season's been utilizing him pretty well. And I like that they went on the whole Weapon X route side of things. I always like when that story is done. Even if you look at some of the like the Frank Miller, and Chris Claremont Wolverine books from back then, I was getting some influences there too, especially with kind of the horror direction that this episode took, which we'll get into that later. But yeah, there were a couple gripes, some things I wish they didn't do, but we'll get into that. But overall, I really dug the episode.
Right on. Yes, for those folks, I might even do. It's gonna be tricky over the next week because I am traveling to Comic-Con alongside Jake. So I don't know if I can do another Easter egg short TikTok, but I'll probably throw it in. But like Jake was saying, one thing if you want to read a comic that might be similar or familiar to this is just go read Chris Claremont's Frank Miller's Wolverine.
Yep.
The samurai or the Japanese storyline. It is the cover of issue 1. It's literally this him with the claws out. And yeah, it's weird because this one was about Logan willing to go back to the thing that he hates most, which is what his trauma of the Weapon X program, but knowing that he has to do that if he wants to be a pivotal part in taking down Apocalypse, and knows that for better or for worse, that adamantium that he had was both a gift and a curse to him.
Yeah.
And I love that towards the end he was dealing with that, and even at throughout points you could see the shot of just him be like, but people were calling out about this and that. Yeah. And also, like Daren was hinting at earlier, that like I love that this episode put Morph through the ringer from an emotional point of view. By the time we get to the end of the episode, I was like, Morph, please go get someone who wants you bad, man. Like, I get it. You had the hots for Logan, potentially have the hots for Logan. Again, the actor and the original writer had different points of view, but you can think that there is a real deep connection with Logan. And what I think Morph is seeking, he's not going to fully get with Logan. And I think Logan, in his most bizarre, feral way, is telling him, I'm not the end game. Trust me. I cannot, like, the only person that was the only person that was able to snap me out for a second throughout our pandemonium was a version of Jean, and it was out of guilt. And it's just like, you don't want that with you don't want that with me, which says a lot about their friendship and where the dynamics could be at. Daren, I think you're mute if you want to say something.
Yeah.
I think it's really interesting. Like, and I don't know, like, I feel like there is definitely a lot of queer commentary here. Like, Morph is someone that can turn into anybody, and yet still not the person that Logan is ever going to go for. And I think that's, there's that very beautiful scene where it's like, yeah, like, this person that like will go any lengths for this person, and it never ends well for them.
Yeah.
Like it never goes that way. And I think like, I've seen people being like, yeah, like this is Endgame. And I was like, no, I think the point is that this doesn't work. And I think it's commentary on, I mean, it's a tale as old as time, like going after someone that will just not reciprocate those feelings is a very universal story for, no matter what side of the spectrum you land on. I think that's something that everyone can definitely put their shoes in. And like that final bit where it's like, Morph, you can be all these different things, but like some of us are one thing. And obviously I think that has a lot of meanings. Like I think that moment is saying a lot of things in that moment. But it's definitely a really interesting commentary once you kind of like, okay, these things have different angles and different ways that you can interpret the scene, for sure. Yeah.
And I love the way Morph even ends that. He's like, is that all you think you are? Some animal with claws? Like nothing more than that. In that last shot where you see Logan just looking into the reflection of his claws, like they were able to say so much by saying so little. And I really like whenever the show can do that.
Even the line that broke my heart was like, that makes me sad. Doesn't it make you sad? And it's just like it's like almost like, I don't want to say someone with an addiction problem,
Mm,
but it kind of reflects that way. And like,
Agreed.
It does. I mean, I got those feelings from
Agreed.
that. Yeah,
it's like when you hear, and again, I'm very much anti-war and whatnot, but when I've heard and seen documentaries of soldiers just coming back, they're like, I don't know what to do except fight.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I'm
Yeah.
good at.
yeah,
And you
I
get
mean,
that with Logan. Like, he's been through wars.
yeah. I
And
mean, you have people like that go through these, like whether you're talking about fiction or real life, you have people that go through these different crucibles, these changing periods, these like transformative fires, if you will.
yeah.
And some people choose to just stay in that fire because it's all they know anymore. And
Mhm.
like they don't know a
Yeah.
life outside of fighting, or like Ronan was just talking about.
Yeah.
So you get to the point where certain addicts, they don't know a life outside of the bag or the bottle or anything.
Yeah.
And it's so easy. Like, it's often the easy route to just want to crawl into the bottom of that bottle and seal the cap instead of actually crawling out of it and facing what's in front of you.
Yeah, and like I even got some like Stockholm syndrome kind of effects to this. I think it's interesting. This place that has caused Logan so much fear, so much pain, so much trauma. The second that thing goes away, he runs back to that place.
Yeah,
that
he can't
feels
keep himself away.
comfort. Yeah, it's like it's this thing that he needs to go back to, and I think that's kind of one of the main ways I read the final ending. It's like he was so obsessed with doing this, he got these people killed on this mission, a mission he didn't fully disclose to them, and I think Morph is disappointed in Logan of like, you didn't tell me, you didn't tell them, you got these people hurt for some claws that you don't technically need.
Yeah.
And I think that there's a nuance there, and I think it's been, I think this show especially has very much portrayed Logan as a more like justifiable kind of character than some other adaptations I've seen. But I think this is some of the most nuanced we've seen Logan, where it's like, oh, he doesn't always make the right call. Like a lot of the times,
Yeah.
he's not the most like good on the judgment calls. And I think this episode is like, oh yeah, you clearly made the wrong move. You probably shouldn't have done this, or at least not the way you should have. Like hypothetically, you should have been like, okay, I'm gonna go get my X-Men friends, and I'm gonna get their help. But I don't think he's like able to ask for it. Like I don't think he's like, hey, this is what I want. Can you?
The bridge too far for him.
Yeah, and
yeah.
I think that's exactly why he didn't ask them, because he brought on, a lot of people, like he brought on people like Sabretooth, like Deathstrike, and the others from Weapon X. He didn't care if they lived or died.
Sure.
Like it wouldn't have affected him that same way, because I saw a lot of people asking, would Wolverine really, like lead people into this sort of trap? I said, have you seen a single interaction between Wolverine and Sabretooth? Despite what the movie might have tried to make you think, they don't like each other at all. And Wolverine's history with Yuriko is very fragmented, but I think that's one of the reasons why Wolverine keeps going back to that Weapon X, side of him, is because, like I said, it's like one of the only things concrete that he knows about himself. And that's all he kind of has of his fragmented past to hold on to, because he's never really been able to put it all together, never really been able to get closure from a lot of it. So he's just kind of holding on to that last vestige of what he knew before being experimented on.
It's that notion that in Logan, there was one of my favorite lines of like that I suck at this, that bad shit happens to people I care about. And it's just like, it's the tragic samurai, thing that he carries with him. So that was like, wow, we're just taking a moment just to sit with that. And let it just sink in for people. Shout out to everybody who's watching the live stream. Thank you so much. I've seen your comment section. I'm gonna put it right now. Keyblade, Master Jeffrey. It's my fellow X-Men. Hi friends. X23 scene. Yes, Daren's the big boy now. Hello. Double Jackson, not who I expected to see when clicking on run and stream. LOL.
What do you mean?
That's because I'm Poppy. I run this puta. I run this thing. This is my house.
Bunch of Chicanos. Kidding.
God damn it, Dick. It's game over, man. Hope everyone's well. Yeah, man. We're gonna get into that. Trust me. And yes, like Tigo just mentioned, the Thing in Aliens episode was.
Ooh!
Yeah, Loki as a standalone, one of my favorite episodes of the series thus far.
Okay.
Having Sabretooth channeling Jesse Ventura from Predator was a hoot. I ain't got time to bleed. Whatever
Okay.
he's at. Yeah. All the Tomo stuff with Morph was a great analogy. Yes.
Yeah.
Yuriko was on brand with that. The Tomo analogy, the scenes with Yuriko and her relationship with Logan all end or have the potential to end very badly. Yes, 100%. I how the episode picks up after the end of last week with no sense of humor, no sense of time to focus on Logan going back into the cage of his choosing, the opposite of N. Salvador. At the end, we're looking at his reflection, the claw letting us sit with the silent chef kiss, much like the end of last week's episode and episode 5 of season 1.
You sit with it.
The team that Logan put together is hilarious as Maverick, Kane, Sabretooth, and Lady Deathstrike on any normal day would try and take each other out. But the second Weapon X pops up. It's like, all right, there's a common goal right there, I think.
They all have that tie to it also.
Yeah, and it kind of felt a little bit like Deadpool 2, where like, all right.
A little bit, yeah.
One just gets knocked off as soon as they quote unquote land, if you will.
I was gonna bring that one thing up. Who said it? Damn it! I just I just thought about it when they brought up the whole thing in Aliens bit. When they get attacked by that bear in the beginning, am I the only one who thought that was Wendigo for a second?
So,
for a split second, I saw a white flash of fur. I'm like, is that fucking Wendigo?
But then Morph turned into
Puck.
Yes, I think which I'm like, wait a minute, I know that character from somewhere.
Yeah, I was happy to see that.
So can he also turn into animals then?
I believe so. I mean, usually it's just people he knows, I think, but like,
because if that's the case, he's like underutilizing an entire power set. You know?
Yeah, I mean, but granted, you said just people he knows. I think he just has to be aware of them, not necessarily be close with them as people. Because how would he know people like Thor or the Thing or Spider-Man or people like that? And you know what? Everybody that's watching this, even Morph is saying we need Spider-Man 98.
Yes, he did.
That's very cool.
Yeah. I mean, listen, this was a very Wolverine Weapon X-centric episode, but this was a horror episode for the most part. It is, James Cameron's Aliens. It's a buzz hunt, man. It's literally John Carpenter's The Thing.
Ridley Scott's Alien.
The fact that it's the Brood. Like, I remember when we got closer into the facility, I was like, wait a minute. I think I've seen, like, this feels familiar.
Yeah.
And it was like, if I'm not mistaken, Jake, it's the same alien species that attacks Kitty Pryde in the Christmas issue.
Yes.
John Byrne's last issue, right?
Yes.
Where like she's working through the danger room and there's an alien in the house.
Yeah. Also, I'm just gonna say this. I recognize this cover.
Oh yeah. Me and Sam were like, oh,
yeah. I saw that shot and I'm like, they fucking did it.
Yeah. John Romita Jr., if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong.
I think
I could be wrong. Morph also turned into Guardian from Alpha Flight along with Puck. Yes. I mean, he had a moment as Ben Grimm as the Thing, just smashing the Brood down.
Yeah, and that's a character you had seen in this universe before, so it's good to know that they're not just pulling out, X-Men characters and other characters you hadn't seen. They're also pulling people that you had seen.
I wonder if they wanted to do an arc of 2 episodes or 3 episode parts, because if they did the Goblin Queen, which again, that's a whole like what, Jake, 50 issues, 100 issues, like of a saga of like
it's like 70, 80, somewhere around there.
Yeah. And like they did it in an episode, and it was that was the horror episode. This one where it's like it's the Weapon X program, and I think someone said earlier that like at one point they go to the CD section. It's like there's Winter Soldier, there's Phantom X. I think I saw X-23.
2 characters right there, Winter Soldier and X-23, that did not exist in the 90s. So you're bringing this whole thing back, adapting, or at least mentioning these other characters. And I'll admit, I was kind of wrong. I'm like, I don't know if they're going to do X-23. Something akin to it exists out there in the world. And if they want to push the narrative past what this decade does, I mean, I'm all for adaptations. So would I be curious to see how they do it? Maybe. Bold statement I kind of want to make is we were talking about Morph a good bit. I think this episode did for Morph what episode 2 of the season did for Jubilee.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
because neither one of them were my favorite characters in the original series. I liked them, but I never really looked at them. Even in season 1 of '97, where they were both significantly cooler. It wasn't until episode 2 this season and this past episode where I'm like, oh, I'm actually really into these characters now.
Yeah, and I think this character is. I've seen versions of this character before that aren't great. Like he's the very like sarcastic, silly little side character that can do fun little things, and I've seen that become annoying, and I've seen that become a version of stuff I don't love. But I think what they've done with them is like you can have this fun, lighthearted character that is very nuanced and very deep. It's like he's a character that very clearly uses his comedy as a way of dealing with his grief. And they have obviously so much untapped trauma, which again I think pairs very well with Logan as someone who also has a lot of trauma but doesn't use comedy to uplift himself. I think they make as a very good pair.
You know what other character does that Morph transforms into in this episode?
The Merc.
We do get the Deadpool transformation for a second. Yes. We do get that. When you saw that clip in a trailer like months back, I'm like, are they doing Morph again right there? Because that's what they did in the original series. You saw Morph appear as Deadpool for like 2 seconds as he's taunting Logan. It's like a blink and you'll miss it thing that never happens again.
But you know what's interesting is that they said in season 1 there was only one character they couldn't use, and that was Deadpool.
I mean, technically they still haven't. I think Morph was kind of the loophole.
Well, the thing is that the movie was coming out, which I'm like, okay, I kind of get that, but I think it was a missed opportunity as for pre-promo. I think.
Because the season 1 came out like 3 months before the movie, so I mean, I think it would have still been cool to do it. And listen, did Deadpool get kind of revitalized in a different way due to all 3 of the R-rated movies? Sure. Deadpool wasn't always an R-rated character, and I hate this narrative that's come out of people saying that he always has been. Because you look at some of his early, comics, especially his debut issue, which I have somewhere in one of those boxes. But he's saying the most stupid things, like "Holy chimichangas" or something ridiculous like that. That's
very Bugs Bunny-esque.
Yeah, that's like completely G-rated, but so out there and ridiculous that's where the humor comes from.
Sure. I mean, like he would show up in like Spider-Man cartoons and stuff.
That was great.
On, like Disney Channel and shit like that. Like you can do him in PG-13. It's
because he even said it. What was it in the Spider-Man episode he appeared in? He's like, "Oh, we're going to unalive them," and Spider-Man's like, "Wait, you want to kill them? Oh, it sounds bad if you actually say the word." It's like stuff like that's funny,
And hot take, the X-Men Origins Wolverine, like everything with Wade in the beginning, I liked. I was like, manicure or whatever, like great. Stuck in an elevator with 5 guys on a high protein diet. It's like dreams really do come true. It's like that is Wade. Just like before they decided to fucking zip his fucking mouth for someone stupid reason.
You know what, Ronan, you'll appreciate this. I think you've confused me with someone who gives a shit.
That's an in joke. But yeah, and I in fucking Omega Red, that which I'm pretty sure was Clancy Brown. That was the element you didn't like?
What?
Was that the element you didn't like, Jake?
That was one of the elements. That was one of the elements I didn't like. I just like I liked his like him being there made sense with how Weapon X centered it was. But the inclusion was a little out of nowhere.
The pillar.
Like it was a little out of nowhere, but also you didn't really get to see him interact with Wolverine at all.
It
like
was
not the actual Logan. And again, he's just kind of there, and then he's gone. Like he was underutilized. So I would like to see more from him. The other negative I had to the episode we'll get later.
It definitely felt like
Daren?
set up for later. Like it felt like, oh, we're gonna put a pin in that, and we'll get back to it when we're not fighting.
I really hope so.
Apocalypse. Like I think actually that's been a lot of these episodes where it's like, okay, we're introducing things for the future, but we don't have time right now to fully unveil because and again, like
no, it was not. Sorry, it was not Clancy Brown. I just laughed because I looked up the voice actor. Daren DePaul.
Oh shit!
Ew.
It's me.
I thought Daren DePaul was voicing Sabretooth.
He does both.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I thought it was Steve Bloom who was doing Sabretooth because he got a little bit of the Zeb voice of like, I should have dropped my kid when I did. Whatever he said about his son or whatever. Like I was like,
I
could be
don't
wrong,
think,
but
I don't think Steve's in the show.
no, I heard from other friends that, like it was Daren DePaul, and I'm like, oh okay, I never heard of this dude, but I'm like, but he did a phenomenal job as
Yeah.
Sabretooth and Omega Red.
Yeah.
Mostly more comes into clutch for Easter eggs. Yeah, and again, I just want to say that like even sometimes I think when Morph turns into someone, that's almost a different way of comedy, if you will. That him dealing that he's probably not comfortable in his own skin, that he has to be somebody else
Sure.
to have a connectivity with either the audience or the characters in the story itself.
Yeah.
And I really again, game over, man, game over. That was just mwah, for me as a nerd. And
Ooh.
it's weird that like there was even more battle within of these guys being like, all right, we're gonna take down Weapon X, but after that, fuck that. And the notion that like they all came at the end to be like, no, we're putting an end to this once and for all, which was very poetic, if you will, for these characters that that any other day will rip their heads off on a Ling Long David. Like that was
kind of reminded me of Thunderbolts a little bit, where they're all locked in the room. It's like, I would kill any of you right here, but we need to get this done.
I can see that, yeah.
I also think it's a smart way, because I think making Wolverine this kind of mutated version of themselves, I think it makes more sense why they're willing to help morph out. Because I think under normal circumstances, we're like, fuck no, we don't give a shit about him.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's not really about him. It's about, hey, if you let a mutated Wolverine out in the wild, you're not going to stop him. Like, there's not, like, you have to do this now, or he will probably
infect
just destroy
others.
the world. Yeah, no, he will, like, take over. Like, there's nothing that can stop him besides this thing right here. So
well, they even say in the episode, like, if this gets out, in the first week, the world's gonna get taken over.
Yeah,
and it only gets worse from there.
Yeah.
Man, and I don't know. I really dug this. I liked. I think this was a better version of what they were doing in season 1, where you have a huge episode where something big happens.
Agreed.
And then you take one character and go on a little side mission with them. While I didn't dislike it in season 1, it was probably my least favorite part of season 1. The whole Forge and Storm story, even though there were elements to it that I liked.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I did like it. There were just parts in there where I'm like, okay, I don't know.
They split it into 2 episodes, which I feel like they should have done in 1 instead of doing the whole Mojo or whatever.
Which I mean, I got the novelty behind that too, and I even think that episode did good for Jubilee. I think that's part of what helped her in that first season. But I don't know. I like this whole approach to it a good bit, and they kept up the thing from last episode where Captain America was like, hey, I don't know what you're doing, and I don't want to know. So like, there was no outside the world of the X-Men help. So
yeah. Go ahead, Darren.
I will say, like, I think as a whole, I will probably end up liking season more than season 2, but I will say I think this season is formatted better than season 1. Like, I think from a formatting standpoint and how they're structuring these episodes out, it's a little neater than last season, because that was my only issue with season 1, is sometimes the way they place the episodes and how they set the stage and stuff like that. I was like, okay, it's a little wobbly at times, but ultimately we got where we needed to go. Where I think this season, having like those first 4 episodes, setting it up, the middle episode, and then of course if they have to landing in these final 4, it seems like it's going to be almost be like a final 4 episodes to do this Apocalypse storyline, which is 2 hours. That's like a movie. So like we have the time to do, I think, a really solid formatted for a season, I guess.
Can you pull up the comment about the claws again?
Jeffries?
Yeah. So yes and no. Like, he heals faster without the metal. He hits not as hard without it.
Yeah.
because the metal does weigh on him. It does poison his system, like you saw in Logan. It does that over time. He hits harder with it. He heals slower with it. That's in layman's terms.
Yeah,
because he even saw that, like in that first episode when he tries to attack, that one Reaver thing, he stabs into it, they break, and he's in pain. So,
and like he was even like struggling this episode when he's trying to fight the big monster thing.
Yeah.
He's like, he's not doing as well as he could have, and like Sabretooth comes in and
snaps his neck.
Yeah, I was like,
damn,
early weekend for sure.
But also, it was so satisfying when he did come back, did that thing, which they completely did a different version of that for the trailer, because in the trailer you hear, we're back, baby. In the episode, I'm back, baby.
Yeah.
So they clearly did that. And what a gorgeously animated fight at the end.
Oh, yeah.
Holy shit, that looked good.
Whew. Even the shot choice of like the hand in the tub, and then the snake of the metals, and then right before he calls his way out, he marks the X, and then yells out a yo, and then breaks through the glass, which I was like, oh, that is
if I had a nickel for every time X-Men 97 did a beautifully animated fight that had a Wolverine with a torn up costume, I'd have 2 nickels, which is not a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. It's actually not weird at all.
And Harrison James, I echo this, man. That was the funniest shit ever. I'm like, how are we gonna lure him into the tub? I got an idea. Logan, I'm gonna call Jean. And just like, oh my gosh,
I'll give her extra smooches tonight, Logan.
Logan, I knew you follow your superiors or whatever he says. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I guess I'll just get into it.
Okay.
So that was funny. I'll give it that. The one thing I kind of wish this episode didn't do was have Morph transform into Jean and have that be the thing that snaps Logan out of it, at least for a moment, because I thought we were done with the whole Wolverine, still pining over Jean in a way, because season 1 did it in a way where, like when you have the 2 versions of Jean Grey and the real one kisses Wolverine, you have that scene where Wolverine goes, no, you're Jean Grey, he's Scott Summers, that's the role, that's the way it's supposed to be. And it seemed like he finally moved on from that, but now we're putting that back into play. I'm like, why do we have to do that?
I really read that scene like that. Like I don't think I read it as he's over Jean. I think he read it as that's what's best for Jean, and that's what she needs. Like she needs Scott Summers, not me. I'm not worthy for her. But I don't think he ever stopped like being in love. I mean, like even the final the final moments of season 1 is Morph turning into Jean because he knows that's what he needs to hear in the moment.
I don't know. I feel like there's a lot more you could do with Wolverine, and you don't have to fall back on that as often as people like to do.
I get it. I also think that can be an arc, right? I think this is only our 2nd season of this show. I feel like the original show doesn't dive into that too much, a little bit, but not like all crazy amount, which I like. But I'd like to see an arc where he actively is overcoming it and finding his new thing, or actively, I don't know. I feel like there's something that can be said there. I think it makes sense though that he's still hung up on Jean after everything we've seen. But I get you. It can be very annoying. I know the movie stuff pissed me off with how they handled the Jean, Logan, Scott stuff, because it's like, okay, this is just not working.
Especially when they fucking did it in Apocalypse, where young Jean goes into his mind and then he recognizes Jean. I'm like, what dumb shit is this?
As someone who loves the Wolverine movie, I can admit that and I'm not thinking of Famke Janssen, but I think the only time you should have seen Jean Grey is the beginning when he's having that freak out nightmare in the woods, and then at the very end when he close the book. Close the book would be accepting that I can't change what I did. What
happened?
But I have to move on, and instead of sprinkling it throughout the middle and being like, remember Jean? It's like, no, you don't need that much. It's the same thing with do we need to see every time a new Batman or another project of Batman movies? Do we need to see Crime Alley? Do we need to see the Pearls? Do we need we don't really have to. We know that shit. That shit's already in the lingo of everybody's common language, if you will. So I get that to an extent.
If I were to list, the 20 most interesting things about Wolverine, him pining over Jean Grey is not on that list.
Fair.
Really? Okay. Okay.
I mean, and I love both characters. It's just, and do I like part of what the original show did with it? Yeah, because it's like, okay, it started here, and then in their wedding episode that I think is early season 2, if I'm not wrong.
believe so, yeah.
You see, it hurts him a little bit there, but he it really kind of wrecks him. It's like, all right, this is the reality, and then from that point on, unless I'm just misremembering, he's kind of for the most part over it, but is still like protective of Jean as he would be any member of the X-Men.
To me, even though I do love the hinting of him pining over Jean, to me, the thing I'm kind of cooler with, which again maybe probably says something about me, even though I'm trying to, I'm very strict about it. Like, I like that he's very much like, okay, at one point he's with Aurora, at one point he's with Domino, at one point he's with this and this girl. Like, that's his thing. Like, he smokes cigars, drinks whiskey, and is on a motorbike. Like, that is who he is.
He's got about as much of a roster as Scott Summers does.
Yeah.
I'd also argue that this is also like not even like, even if he is over Jean, like this is like primal, like, psychosis Logan, and like someone who is like just like, even if he was over him, I feel like Jean is someone that could still garner that reaction because there is such a deep connection in his subconscious of Jean and like and what he means to her and all this stuff. But again, like I said at the start, I like that scene a lot because I think more what it does for Morph. Like Morph could not get through, like Morph alone could not get through the Logan. I think that's a very big moment for Morph. I think in this moment he realized he does not feel the same way that I feel for him. And again, I know there's some writers back and forth on how they write him, but like, a scene like there's an episode like this where I'm like, it's kind of hard not to read it like this. Like there's definitely
even that
bold
line.
I don't know.
The line of like, like you were the one who went back from me and then gave up on me one eye. And I was like, I'm not gonna do that for you, which I was like, it was so fucking beautiful. I'm like, oh man, like that's a homie right there.
I don't know. Bold statement, maybe. I mean, they showed you like the bits of the Weapon X episodes in the intro. Maybe, and granted, I can't exactly remember where we left this character off the top of my head, but maybe incorporate Silver Fox back into the mix. She has ties to Weapon X too, and have that be have that be the thing that snaps Logan out of it. That I could believe.
Yeah,
like I could so believe that based off their connection in the original series, because was there not a shot of her in the updated intro, or am I making that up?
I have to rewatch it again, but it was mostly, the only time I could think of it is when they're in their like gold black suits and they're running away shooting. That might be where she was in, but like I don't recall that instantly. But yet again, the previous episode that was similar name, title in the original show was like Silver Fox and like the romance. Like, was that fake or was that just a production? And then you realize at the end, no, it was real. They just fuck with them to better control them in the Weapon X program.
Yeah, and then the movie tried to do that and failed.
Yeah, although a great actress, I think they could have done, something with it, but like it's like, no, you could have chosen more stuff with that, and like
and making her sister Emma Frost without calling it Emma Frost. I'm like, this is dumb. This is so dumb.
That was like too many cooks in the kitchen, like too many mutants.
Listen, there's a lot that movie gets wrong. There's that little bit that it gets right that I find myself enjoying. I'll admit that.
Yeah, I mea culpa too. I'm there with you.
Yeah.
Hello, Kyle. How you doing, man? Sorry it took you long to get your comments, but glad to see that you popped up here in bed. I think Daren said hi. The voice actor for Charles and Possible were the same person. Yep. Ross. Ross. Yeah.
It's now the second X-Men animated show to do that because Evolution did the same thing.
We're gonna be wrapping things up, folks, because I gotta go prep some stuff to do, and I have to also let the body rest after sitting my ass for 3 hours to watch the Odyssey. But guys, any final thoughts on this episode? Where we want to see go? What's the next episode that you want to see? Like, is there a specific topic or character you want to see highlighted in the next episode? What are your overall final thoughts?
Yeah, I got one, but
all right.
But go ahead, Daren.
I mean, I think we just need to like these next 4 episodes, I'm really excited for everyone to just be together, because the first 5, no one has been together. We've all been separated. And so next episode, I'm really excited. I'm also very curious, like, where this episode takes place on the timeline. I assume it's before the new, like, the full crew comes back and they're kind of waiting and just be like, well, they're out somewhere. I guess we're doing whatever, So I'm really excited to see. I'm excited to see how Logan reacts to hearing about Magneto. I'm really curious about how Rogue feels about Magneto. I really need to see how Charles is holding up. I'm excited for a potential darker Charles for the rest of the season. I'm excited to see Scott hopefully now having to step up once more, because I don't think Charles is going to be up to leading the team like he once was. So just seeing everyone together, our plan for Apocalypse, and where we go into the next season. I know it's early still, but we have 4 left, so I'm very curious what these next 4 episodes hold.
Yeah. Jake, what about you? Any final thoughts?
Well, I'm gonna be curious if the end of the season kind of plays out to the end of season 1, where even though from a marketing standpoint it was a 3-part finale, if you look at the last 4 episodes of season 1, it was more like a 4-part finale. And I'm wondering if this might play out the same way.
Mm-hmm.
I, like Daren said, I really do want to see the whole team back together. I feel like they've kind of been dragging that out, so the eventual resolution does feel more earned and satisfying. Which give credit where credit's due there. We got a little bit of this in episode 3 and 4, kind of, but I really want to see what's the deal with Rogue right now after not only because she's still very much in the process of trying to heal from Remy, but now also Eric's gone, and that clip that you got from her in the initial trailer and that little bit of dialogue where she's like, it's hard realizing what's not there, and like her holding the card, we still haven't got that scene, so wondering where that's going to come into play, how the end of the season sets up the third. I got a sneaking suspicion that and again, I know I'm reaching here with this because I said it in season 1 too, but it probably won't happen this season. With how Nathan Summers focused season 1 and a good amount of season 2 has been so far, I feel like they're gonna incorporate Strife into the show's future in some way, because you've got Nathan Summers focused episodes early this season. You got an adaptation of X-Force. Strife, being a clone of Cable, is arguably the X-Force's biggest enemy. So I don't know whether they're going to do something like that. The way Ronan's shaking his head right now has me thinking some things. But I'm excited, and I've got some horsemen are definitely inbound, because and all I'll say is we're not lacking for candidates.
I'm not going to say anything because I know too much and I don't want to ruin it for the boys, except that these next few weeks, god damn, there's going to be a lot to talk about, and hopefully if everything plays out right, we can get more guests to join us. And just a heads up, everybody, next week me and Jake are going to be in San Diego Comic-Con. If you want to say hi to us if you're there, but I don't know how we're going to manage to do a stream next week from there. Maybe we might have to end up doing it that Wednesday night, just because as soon as Thursday kicks in, it is a Olympics level of event that we're going to have to go through for the next 4 days. So I don't know how we're going to do it. Be on the lookout on our social medias to see any updates on that. I want to do my best to set something up, at the very least, have an hour. That way we can manage that, but also in balance with the notion that also Council Creators, another show we all do every Wednesday night. That Daren and Gianni Brown are going to be co-hosting, or I think Darren's leading the charge about that, because a lot of us are going to be in San Diego for that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
we're going to be busy, boys.
Yeah. Great episode. The quality has not dipped. In my opinion of this show, people can have their favorite characters and their favorite choices of like setting stuff up, but I think that like this is still some of the best X-Men stuff they've done outside of the comics.
Yeah, some of the reviews I've seen for this episode in particular are a little ridiculous.
Yeah, I heard it from you that people were bitching and moaning about like this is the worst thing done to the character. Like, no,
It's like,
no, trust me,
what? Yeah,
I've
like
seen worse.
I've seen people say it's the worst version of Wolverine. I'm like, where are you getting that from?
Blasphemy. I don't know what the fuck people are smoking.
I don't know, but I don't want any.
Yeah, please mix it up. Go get something else. Boys, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to geek out about X-Men with me. Please plug yourself. Let people know where they can find you. Let's start with Jake. Jake, where the hell can people find you?
Oh, that's a good question because even sometimes I ask it. Right there, Drophead Jake on YouTube. I got another Lost Level stream this upcoming Sunday, my last one before San Diego. It's going to be another Lego Batman stream. I did record episode reactions to not only episode 4 this season, but 5 too. Both reactions kind of got shot to shit, so I just molded them into a video reviewing the 2 episodes together. That's going to be dropping within the next day. Also dropping here within the next few hours is my reaction to the Wolverine game trailer that came out today. And another Arkham ranking is on the horizon, and a handful of game as well as just Marvel and general related shorts are going to be dropping before San Diego also. And I imagine one, if not more of us, probably all of us to some degree, are going to be vlogging our San Diego experience in some amount. So yeah, my channel and the others, stay tuned to those. And close to 2K and monetization, so let's see if we can hit both.
Beautiful. Daren?
Yeah, you can find me over at Daren Sanctuary. I typically do a Pipeline podcast every Thursday. I didn't do one this week just for reasons. But Pipeline Thursdays, After Credits Mondays. We're doing more X-Men and Superman and all those shows. And then, Council this week. Me and Johnny are hosting. These guys abandoned us, so we're on our own. So go check that out.
Yeah, I think we all voted. It was time. It's time to like. No. And as always, you can subscribe to my channel at Run on the Chain on YouTube and all the socials. X-Men, Batman, anime, Star Wars, Marvel, DC, non-big IP stuff related. You can find on my channel. And this next, not even 7 days, like next 2 weeks are gonna be chaotic as hell. And I'm trying to balance that out as best as we can to give you guys cool entertainment stuff.
He said Superman and anime, or he said DC and anime. He's not watching my adventures.
I'm not gonna get into that right now. Yeah, folks.
I'm just messing with you.
Yeah. Please subscribe. Let people know. Share the enthusiasm. Go subscribe to the fellows' channels. Share their stuff. Let them know what's happening. And as always, to me, my X-Men.